Good morning, grade 5. How are you all? I hope you guys are safe and sound at your places and you guys are taking great care of yourself and the life of your dear ones. Well, guys, today we are going to start our online lecture number 19. Subject is social studies and the topic name is calendars. Well, let me tell you one thing that this is going to be your final lecture of first term 2020 because guys after completion of today's lecture we guys are going to start our revision of social studies grade 5. Well, let me tell you one thing that you have to gear up yourself for the exams of 2020 because guys this time we are going to take your first term exams online and this is going to happen for the very first time in the history of Asas National. So make sure you prepare your all subjects in a very good manner, okay? And guys, let's talk about our online lecture number 19 and let's see what we are going to learn today. Girls and guys, in our today's lecture number 19, we'll discuss about why we study history. We'll talk about calendars, types of calendars, and guys, we'll also discuss the difference between different kind of decade, century, and millennium. Okay, so make sure that you are going to observe this lecture in a very excellent and attentive manner. Girls and guys, let's discuss that why we should study and why we should study history and what is history. Well, guys, history cannot gives us the program for the future or plan for the future, but definitely it gives us complete understanding of ourselves and guys, it tells us about the common humanity so that we can plan our future. Now, question is, what is history? Well, guys, let me tell you one thing that history is the study of human past. Okay, remember one thing that history is the study of human past, as it is described in the written documents left by human beings. Well, guys, studying the events of the past gives us an understanding of how the world has been shaped and progressed today. Well, we can learn from the history of Pakistan that how Pakistan came into being. The previous lecture which I have delivered, I think I have delivered more than 18 lectures on 17 lectures on the topic major historical events. What do you understand from that topic? Definitely you guys get to know that what was the history of Pakistan, how Pakistan came into being, and the struggle of our Muslim leaders. And guys, history is very important because our history tells us that how our future going to be shaped up. Well, guys, history always, tell people that how to learn from the mistakes. Well, guys, you can say that, by learning about the causes and the effects of the events in the history, people can learn better about future and guys, they can learn better that how to deal with the conflicts among the nations and among the individuals. And guys, do you remember I have delivered the previous lecture on the topic effects of some important international events on history? I have told you about the World War One, and we have discussed about 9/11 incident. I have told you that how that incident affected human beings and what was the mistakes made by our our former leaders of Pakistan. And you guys definitely got idea that what type of mistakes they made in future in past and how we can avoid these mistakes in future. I'm very sure about it that you guys understand this thing that we shouldn't jump in the fire of someone else as we have jumped in the fire of America, and guys, we are facing the consequences of that that decision. Many innocent people lose, and guys, many innocent lives we lose in the previous years, right? Well, guys, you know that history tells us that what mistakes we shouldn't do in the future, right? So you can say that the study of history also enables people to learn from the mistakes from the past. For example, guys, to analyzing the mistakes made by the armies in World War One and World War Two, this can help military to plan their strategies in the future. And guys, to record these histories and everything, you need something, and that something is called calendar. Okay. Well, guys, let's discuss that why we should study history. Well, guys, just one damn fact after another. History helps us to understand people and societies. And, guys, history enable people, it enables us to learn from the mistakes of the past. And, guys, you can say that his history helps us to understand change and how the society we live in came to be. And guys, the importance of history is very clear that history helps us to plan our future. And guys, it also helps us to avoid the mistakes which we made in the past, where that we should avoid these mistakes in the future. So let's see that to learn about history, what is much more important for the historians. Well, guys, historians required certain mechanism, and that mechanism is known as calendar. Well, let's see what is calendar. Guys, a calendar is a chart or series of information that shows days, weeks, months of a specific year. You can say that the calendar is a system of arranging a year into days, weeks, and months. Girls and guys, after discussing what is calendar, let's talk about that why we use calendar. Okay. Guys, as I told you that a calendar is a chart of series of information that shows days, weeks, and months of a specific year. Well, you can say that days, weeks, and months are the units of time, and there are two types of calendars. And in our very next slide, we'll discuss that what are these two types. But before we discuss that, types of calendar, I want to ask one question to you. Have you ever used calendar to see your upcoming birthday? Huh? You did that? Well, I did this several times. In fact, you can say that I used to do this thing right after August, because my birthday month is October, so I'm very passionate related to regarding to my birthday. So I used to see calendar after August every day to see my upcoming birthday. So you can say that calendar also tells us about our upcoming events, days, and important festivals. So let's study about what is day. Well, guys, the earth spins one time around is one day. Okay, so let's discuss the different types of calendars. Well, guys, you guys might be surprised to read that statement that there are around 40 calendars in the world. And guys, 40 calendars used in worldwide. Well, these calendars can be categorized under two main types, and guys, these two main types are solar calendar and lunar calendar. Well, guys, there are two main types of calendars in the world. Okay. Well, guys, these two different types of calendars you can see right now on your screen as well. Well, guys, one type of calendars are right now available in our mobile phones, even on our tables, in our offices, everywhere we are using the calendars which are called solar calendar and guys, Gregorian calendar. Well, I have mentioned all the other names of these calendars which are used worldwide. Well, guys, solar calendar is also known as English calendar, Christian calendar, Western calendar, and Gregorian calendar. In fact, you can say that as everybody has nicknames, I have several nicknames. My mom used to call me with not with the name of Madiha. She used to call me like she used to take my different nicknames. Okay, so you can just like relate this with the nicknames. Okay, so you can say that Gregorian calendar has four nicknames. Number one, solar calendar, English calendar, Western calendar, and Christian calendar. Okay, this is easy for you to understand. Well, guys, the another type of calendar which you can see in the partition of the slide at the right hand, that calendar is known as lunar calendar. Hijri calendar, Islamic calendar. This calendar has three names, and that calendar is used by specifically only in Muslim countries. Okay, and guys, Hijri calendar or lunar calendar has different names. You can say that nicknames. So, what is the nickname of lunar calendar? First nickname is Hijri calendar, and the second nickname is Islamic calendar. Well, guys, basically in Muslim countries we are using both calendars. Like we are for business affairs, for school affairs, for job affairs, in professional life, we are using English or Gregorian or solar calendar. But guys, to see some important dates related to our religion, we are using this Hijri calendar. Okay, so I hope you understand that how many types of calendars are mainly we are using in this world. These are two types of calendars, solar calendar and lunar calendar. Let's not forget these nicknames. Okay, you shouldn't forget the nickname of solar calendar, which is English calendar, Gregorian, Western, and Christian. And lunar calendar nickname is Hijri or Islamic calendar. Okay, so let's move towards our next slide. Girls and guys, solar calendar is based on the cycle of the seasons, which results from the motion of the earth around the sun. Okay, let's discuss that. Or lunar calendar based on which thing? Well guys, lunar calendar, which is an Islamic calendar, as I told you that this calendar is used specifically in Muslim countries. Okay, well guys, lunar calendar based on the way moon changes its shapes during the whole lunar month. Okay. Girls and guys, as I told you that solar calendar is based on the cycle of the seasons. Let's learn more about solar or Gregorian calendar. Well guys, this calendar is made by Pope Gregory, that's why it is named as a Gregorian calendar. Guys, Gregorian calendar is also known as Western, Christian or English calendar. Well guys, this calendar is widely used calendar in the world today, and it is a solar calendar based on 365 common year. And guys, the days are divided into 12 months of irregular length. Why the length of this calendar months are irregular? Guys, sometimes 11th month has 29, or sometimes it has 31 days, while the second month, February, sometime it has only 28 days during the common year. Well guys, it has 29 days during the leap year. Well, what is leap year? Do you know? I'm very sure you don't know about it. Well guys, leap year comes after every 4 years. When one day is added, one extra day is added into February, which makes February of 29 days. In regular month, February has 28 days, and guys, during the leap year, this month, one day is added into February. So those people who born at February 29, they can celebrate only their birthday after 4 years. So it's a big deal. Okay. Well, guys, you can say that the solar calendar is known this calendar is known as solar calendar because 1 year of this calendar is equal to the time taken by the earth to complete its one rotation around the sun. That's why this calendar is known as solar. Okay, solar mean related to sun. So you can say that specifically this calendar known as solar calendar because its one day is equal to the length of the day which earth takes to complete its rotation around the sun. And guys, this calendar begins from the date of the birth of Prophet Isa alayhi salam. And guys, AD represent the date of birth. You can say that the era of after the death of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam. And guys, BC represent the time duration before the birth of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam. And guys, the names of solar month along with the number of the days are as follows. Well, let's talk about our, Islamic calendar, which is known as lunar calendar. Well guys, lunar calendar is a simply used calendar in the Muslim countries. Well guys, this calendar based on the cycles of the moon. Well, lunar calendar belongs to the completion of the moon revolving around the earth in 1 month. Okay, you can say that the number of days and the length of the days in lunar calendar is regular. Okay, not irregular, because guys, you can say that all the days in this month will be same every year. Okay, because as I told you that in solar calendar 1 day is added after every 4 years, but in this year, which is called lunar calendar, in this calendar all the days and the months have a same length, because guys, they based on the cycles of the moon. You can see in the right side of the slide, when the new moon appears, you can say that it is the first date of any which is valuable and the ongoing current Islamic month. You can say that suppose this is the month of Muharram, when you will see the crescent moon on the sky, you will say that this is the first day of Muharram, or it is the day 1 of Muharram. Okay Guys, these months are called the lunar months or Islamic months, and I'm going to tell you their names: Shawwal, Rajab, Ramadan, Shawwal. I'm very sure many of you are, acknowledge of the word Ramadan or Zilhajj, because we are keeping fast in the month of Ramadan, and the Muslims are performing Hajj in the month of Zilhajj. So, guys, basically in our country, Pakistan, we use Islamic calendars only to see Islamic festivals and Islamic important mark days, right? Guys, you can say that this calendar was started by Khalifa Hazrat Umar. And guys, he was counting the day when Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam spent his days before Hijrat and after Hijrat. Well, guys, solar calendar dates to the time when Hazrat Isa alayhi salam born. So the time before the birth of Isa alayhi salam is known as BC, before birth, and the time after the birth of Isa alayhi salam, this calendar known as AD, after the death of Isa alayhi salam. And guys, Muslim calendar or lunar calendar based on the time when Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam made hijrat from Makkah to Medina. Okay. So let's learn about the different types of calendars used in the world. Firstly, we'll talk about Islamic calendar. Well, guys, the Islamic calendar or Muslim calendar or Hijri calendar is a lunar calendar. And guys, it is consisting of 12 months in a year and 354 days we have in this calendar. Okay. And you remember that I told you that we have 365 days in, solar calendar. Well, guys, you can see that there is the first Muharram is the first month of Islamic calendar, and guys, it is used date even when many in Muslim countries, and guys, Saudi Arab is using this calendar as an official calendar. Okay, Muslim used to see this calendar for checking and for celebrating their religious festivals such as Ramadan or Hajj. Okay, so let's talk about our next mentioned calendar. Well, guys, as I told you that there are several types of calendars in the world, but we have discussed previously two main types of calendars, and these were solar calendar and lunar calendar. But let's take a look about the different calendars used in the world. So here you can see the picture is blurry, but I'm sure you get idea that this is Chinese calendar. Well, guys, Chinese calendar refer to any of the official and the civil calendars used in China. Well, Chinese people use this calendar only to see their some national and you can say that some religious festivals of their religion, but commonly they are using Gregorian calendar, or you can say that Christian calendar. As I told you that most of the countries in the world are using these calendars. Well, here is the Indian national calendar. Well, guys, the Indian national calendar is sometimes called as a Sakha calendar because this calendar used in Bali and the different Indonesian provinces, cities as well. Because, guys, wherever the Hindus are living in the world, they are using Indian national calendar. Okay, let's take a look, which is what we have next to see. That is a Japanese calendar. Well, guys, Japanese calendar types have included a range of official and unofficial systems. At present, Japanese are using Gregorian calendar, but they are using this calendar just to see their national important and you can say that some religious events and the days. Well, let's see what we have next. Well, guys, as you know that there are different 7 continents in the world and we have around 200 countries in this world. So, guys, we have different countries in the world. So, different countries have their own religion. There is not only one religion in the world or two religions. There are so many religions in the world, and one of them is Buddhist. Well, guys, Buddhists are using this calendar, mostly in the Southern Asian countries such as Colombia, Myanmar, and the Thailand and Sri Lanka to see their religious, dates, or you can say that their religious events. But you can say that it is an old version of Hindu calendar. Well, let's see what we have next to discuss. Well, guys, here you can see Hindu calendar. Basically, Hindus are using this calendar specifically to see their, important days such as Holi, Diwali, Dasera, and to see their important religious festivals. They are using this calendar, which is right now on your slide. Picture is blurry because, guys, only these type of pictures were available on the internet. Well, let's see what we have next to discuss. Well, guys, here is the Gregorian calendar. Well, Gregorian calendar is also known as Western calendar, Christian calendar, or English calendar, and definitely solar calendar. Well, guys, it is used internationally, mostly in the different parts of the country. And guys, this is known as a civil calendar. Well, it is named for Pope Gregory because it was made by Pope Gregory. And guys, he introduced this calendar in 1582. Okay, the era of before 1582, that era is known as BC, before the birth of Christ. And guys, the era of after 1582 is known as AD, after the death of Isa alayhi salam, because this calendar marks the birth and the death of Isa alayhi salam. Let's discuss that what we have to talk about. Well, guys, in this phase of the lecture, we'll talk about what is AD, BC, and decade, century, and millennium. Well, guys, let's learn the difference between decade, century, and millennium. Well, apart from the days, weeks, and years, there are some other units of time which are used at the large scale, such as decade, century, and millennium. Let's talk about each of them separately. Well, guys, a decade is a period of 10 years beginning with a year whose last digit is 0. Well, you can say that it's not compulsory that, all the decade begin with the digit 0. Okay, for example, after 2005 to 15, there are 10 years gap. So you can say that this is one decade. Okay, for example, it is 2020 and in 2030, you can say that this is one decade has been passed. Okay, so let's discuss that word is a century. Well, guys, a century is a set of 100 years. Okay, when one player completes 100 runs, you can say that he did century, or he did great century. This is called a century. Well, you can say that a set or period of 100 years calculated forward or backward from the recognized, you can say that period is known as a century. For example, we say that it's 21st century. It means that 2100 years have been passed since Prophet Isa alayhi salam born. Okay, so I'm very sure you understand what is the meaning of century. Well, let's discuss what is the word millennium means. Okay, guys, a set or period of 1000 years, specifically when calculated from the traditional date of birth of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam. Well, this term derives from the word Latin, which, the word millennium derived from the Latin language, which means thousand. And guys, annum means years. So millennium means 1000 years. Okay. And BC means before the birth of Isa alayhi salam, and AD means after the death of Isa alayhi salam. But Isa, we are using this word in our, religious books and in our language, that Hazrat Isa, but Christians used to speak this word as a Christ. Okay, so let's move towards our assignment. Girls and guys, what you have to do in your assignment number 19. You have to tell me that why we study history, what is calendar, you have to tell me the different types of calendar, and definitely you have to tell me the difference. That what is the difference between lunar calendar and solar calendar. Okay, let me tell you here again that lunar calendar has 354 days and solar calendar has 365 days. Okay, and you have to tell me that why the lunar calendar is a irregular calendar, and why the length of the months and the days are regular, and why the months are irregular in solar calendar. You have to tell me the difference between decade, century, and millennium. Okay, and guys, make sure that you are doing this assignment in a great manner, and I'm waiting for this assignment. And guys, make sure that you are studying the history in a great manner, because this will definitely going to shape your future. Till then, take care of yourself. I will see you in your revision lectures of social studies. Well, let me tell you that this was going to be your this was your last lecture of social studies. Well, guys, as you know that this is going to be your last lecture of social studies first term syllabus, so there will be no, you can say that recap or revision. So I want you, before we wrap up this lecture, to see what we have studied or what we have learned today. Okay, so guys, in our today's lecture number 19, we have discussed about why we study history, what is calendar, different types of calendar, and difference between decade, century, and millennium. And guys, we have discussed that why we should study history and what is history. And guys, I have told you that study of history is very important because it helps us to understand people, societies, and the behavior of the people in past, right? And guys, history helps us. The study of the history helps us to understand change and how the society we live is came to be, right? So guys, in this slide we have discussed that what is calendar. I have told you that the calendar is a system of arranging the year into days, weeks, and months, right? And guys, I have told you that why we use calendar. We use calendar because it tells us about days, weeks, months, and the months of the year. And we are using definitely calendar to see our upcoming birthday, right? Guys, calendar also remember that it is a set of information, and you can say that a calendar is a chart of series and information that shows us days, weeks, and the months of specific year. And guys, days, weeks, and the months are the units of the time, right? And guys, there are two basic types of calendars. I have told you that these two basic types of calendars are called, lunar calendar and solar calendar. But you shouldn't forget this thing that 40 different types of calendars are used worldwide, right? But the two main types are solar calendar and lunar calendar. Well, guys, I told you that solar calendar has different nicknames, and these are English, Gregorian, Western, and Christian calendar. And guys, our lunar calendar has also nicknames, and these nicknames are Hijri or Islamic calendar. Well, guys, the calendar which is displayed in the partition of right side, this is called Islamic calendar, and we are using this calendar to see Islamic, important days and events. And guys, the calendar which is on the left side of the partition, that is called Gregorian calendar. And guys, let's not forget, most of the countries are using this calendar in the world, and we are using Gregorian calendar to handle our business, professional, and education affairs, right? Well, girls and guys, I have told you that solar calendar based on the movement of the cycle of the seasons, which results from the motion of the earth around the sun, right? And guys, lunar calendar based on the way moon changes its shapes during the whole lunar month, right? And I have shown you the different types of calendar. Well, here is Islamic calendar. To see some Islamic important festival, we are using this calendar, for example, for fasting or for performing Hajj. Okay, and guys, this is Christian calendar, sorry, in Chinese calendar. And guys, this is Indian calendar, and Indians are also using Gregorian calendar. Let's not forget that the countries which calendars I'm showing you and displaying you here, they are definitely using for their business affairs and for their educational affairs Gregorian calendar. Because guys, we have to match the other with other countries. That's why all the countries are using Gregorian calendar. So we have to use Gregorian calendar because the world is a global village. I have shown you the Buddhist calendar as well, and guys, I have also shown you in this lecture Hindu calendar, right? Hindus are using this calendar to see their different religious festivals such as Diwali, Dasera, and many other festivals which they are celebrating. And guys, here is Gregorian calendar, which is made by Pope Gregory, and guys, he introduced that calendar in 1582. And guys, this calendar dates back when Hazrat Isa alayhi salam born. Okay. And guys, let's not forget, I have told you the difference between decade, century, and millennium. The set or period of 10 years is known as decade, and the set or period of 100 years is known as century, and the set or period of 1,000 years is known as millennium. And BC mean the before the birth of Christ, and AD mean after the death of Christ, right? So guys, take care of yourself, prepare your all exam in a good manner, and make sure you all are trying to get first position. Till then, take care. I'll see you in your revision lectures.